Hey, I'm Mike Lipowski. I want to share with you today a little bit about my approach to exercise. It's the approach that I take for myself, as well as what I've been doing with clients for the past 15 years. And I want to provide you with a little bit of insight as to why we take this approach. Now, I'm not going to stand here and tell you that it's the best or the only way to train. The fact of the matter is that we've seen people achieve outstanding results using a broad spectrum of training methods. However, it would be very difficult to argue with the rationale behind this approach. And should you decide to put some of these principles into practice, I think you'd find that you'd make some pretty outstanding progress yourself. And you may even re-examine what you'd been doing previously. The first thing we need to do is establish what is the outcome of the training program. And in this instance, it's to perform the least amount of exercise necessary to get the best or desired result. Now, before all you guys in the high-intensity training crowd throw your hands up and start cheering, and before all of you guys who enjoy your high-volume or high-frequency training turn this off because you think that here stands another one of those high-intensity training guys who wants to preach to me, just hear me out. What constitutes the least amount necessary is based on each individual's needs, goals, abilities, and limitations. And the reason for this approach is just simply grounded in the science of stress physiology. Even though exercise has a positive impact on us physically and mentally, it's a negative stress on the body. I mean, just think of it in these terms. When you first walk in the gym, you're walking in with 100% of your strength and energy at that very moment. But with each gut-wrenching set that you do, every rep that you grind out, you're using up more of your body's resources. And you are stimulating the body in a way so that hopefully it'll adapt by growing larger and stronger, or whatever functional outcome it is that you're looking to achieve. But the fact of the matter is that when that workout's over, and I'm just going to throw a hypothetical number out there, depending upon the level of demands placed on you, you may walk out of the gym with 50% of the strength and energy that you had when you walked in. Makes sense, right? But the process that our bodies have to go through in order to really reap those benefits is the recovery phase. And this is one place where people don't give enough consideration. And like I said, I'm not going to sit here and start preaching about overtraining and such. That's a subject for just another time. But this does touch on that to some degree. What we need to understand is that the body always has to go through several phases in order to fully recover and then, more importantly, adapt. And the first phase is compensation. That would mean getting those resources back that were depleted during your workout. So if we depleted 50% of our strength and energy, compensation would mean that we retrieve that 50% back so that we could go into the gym and repeat that same workout with the same level of success. But that's not good enough for us. Okay? We're looking for big time results. So our bodies have to enter into the overcompensation phase. And that's when enough time is given so that the body actually can adapt and grow stronger. A perfect example of this would be, if you were training every single day for weeks on end, and you might notice that, initially you could get by and your body might recover, but when you start adding up all the other stresses, all the external stresses, as well as the stress of exercise, that you're not really performing the same way you did several weeks earlier. And that's because now your body's not compensating. But let alone, it may not overcompensate if you just continue to pile on these types of demands and this type of stress. So the way that we want to approach our exercise is very simple. Perform enough to stimulate the muscles to develop, to grow larger, stronger, become more functional, or as I said, whatever your specific goal is, whatever that desired outcome is. And, again, by doing this, by trying to just do as little as possible but still get the best result, we can minimize the wear and tear on our bodies. I mean, you're in this for the long term, aren't you? And that's it. It's a matter of stimulating the muscles to develop, allowing them to compensate for the stress, and then overcompensate. Now, while there's a lot of factors that will determine exactly how much exercise somebody needs compared to the next person, and please, don't point to studies, because the truth is that a lot of people, whether you look on the high intensity side or the high volume side, you know, everybody's got their horse that's in the race, and they're placing their bets. All their money is going down on that one horse. And you can find studies that support any side, because again, all of it works. The key is to understand all those individual factors, to understand the 7 principles of exercise science and how they interrelate and affect one another, and how that also relates to the external stresses that are being placed on us from work, from family, from social situations. All those things come into play. And if we're not paying attention and don't know what adjustments to make along the way, we're going to find ourselves extremely frustrated and not understanding why we can't make any gains, why progress comes so slowly. So essentially, this all comes back to one simple idea. Make exercise as efficient as possible so that it can be as effective as possible for ourselves, for our clients, all within the time that we have to exercise.